working in the armbar position, first I want to talk about controlling the person through the 3 major armbar positions, starting with this one where we're an armbar on top of our partner. So here my preference is to dig my hand that's closest to his head in deep and go elbow to elbow and wedge my hand on here so I can create a pulling pressure against his hands when his hands are locked. In order to get a better purchase on his shoulder, rather than having symmetrical legs like this where I feel like there's a lot of distance here, I'm going to take asymmetrical legs and I'm going to use this grip to pull to get my hips farther and farther up his shoulder here. So I'm kind of putting my butt against his face and curling his head in with my hamstring, right? Drag your hips along this line until your hips kind of hit the side of his neck. Now we're going to go through all the main positions of the armbar and how we navigate back to this top armbar, which is the best place to address his locked hands. If my partner sits up and puts me in a bottom armbar like if I was in guard. Yeah, here. Same thing, my feet are pointing kind of toward his head and I'm curling this foot to break his posture. And this foot actually acts to break his posture as well. So if he tries to sit upwards, this foot can push his weight forward and get me back here. He sits up. All I do is I kind of open up this foot as I kick him this way and send him back. We're in the same situation where my top arm is elbow deep. I'm clamping on my hips. I'm blading and I'm getting my hips close to his head here. When he comes up and goes back on top, if he makes a post with this leg, now I can't take him in this direction. So one thing I'm going to look for is our next armbar position, which is going to be like the side armbar. This hand is going to look for the front of this leg over here, and I'm going to use it to swim my head from this side of his body to this side of his body, right? So this hand helps me turn and come here. From here, I'm also back heeling, capturing his head, keeping this tight, and keeping this pressure where I'm kind of trying to glue my butt to his ear. And now from here, all I'm going to do is I'm going to reach for his near leg. I'm going to pull it toward me. I'm going to reach for his far leg, pull it toward me. And now I can use this foot over here, my cross-face foot. I can find the mat and use it to get his weight on top of me here. And now I flip him through. I replace this leg, and I'm back to the top armbar position. Partner's going to keep their hands locked this whole time. We're learning how to navigate through all the armbar positions with locked hands. He comes up and puts me in an armbar from guard. Now this leg comes up so I can't return him to the mat like I did earlier. This hand swims out. I rotate to the side armbar position. Now from here, I need to get to the far leg, but it's too far right now. So I get the close one, the nearest one, I pull it toward me, and now I can reach. When I have this far ankle, I can let go of this for a second to use it to get his weight on top of me here. When his weight's on top, I can think about putting this leg back in front of his face, and I'm back in this top armbar position. I'm always gonna want to come back here to do controlled separating of this grip, but that doesn't mean that throughout the transitions, my opponent, for any reason, can't unlock their hands, and when they do, I wanna know how to capitalize on that and how to keep control against unlocked hands. Him having his hands locked gives you a lot of security in this position. I can really glue myself to him when his hands are locked. When his hands get unlocked, that's when he can start becoming very slippery and hard to control. We're gonna start here, but all these rules apply to all 3 of the armbar situations. We're always tugging with this hand at the elbow to create some tension in this grip. As soon as his hands unlock for any reason, this natural tension that I have is gonna glue his hand to my chest and ride it up, higher up on my chest, right? I'm giving attention the entire time that I'm holding him so that if at any moment his hands come unlocked, this happens. And I get tight right here. Here, I'm gonna look to make a thumbs up grip, like I'm saying, what's up to my homie, right? So I hold this grip tight until I can find his thumb. This is going to be the important factor in avoiding a lot of his escapes. A lot of his escapes involve him turning one way or the other, right? So if I can hold his thumb and pull his hand up my chest, you guys can't really see it, but I'm sure he can feel it. I'm pulling his hand up my chest, that helps keep my hips glued into the shoulder. I'm always looking to break over a bottom hip. If I start breaking over this hip, there's a chance he goes for hitchhikers and stuff like that. So I'm always looking to break over the hip closest to his hips, right? If I have him here on this top armbar, I'm breaking over here. I'm not gluing his hand and bridging in. I'm putting his knuckles on my chest, and I'm going sideways across my hip to get a strong break. So that was one of the positions. Now we'll look at an armbar from guard. If at any moment his hands come unlocked for any reason, again, I'm here, I'm finding the thumb, and I'm turning his knuckles onto my chest and breaking across my hip. If I'm here, I'm putting that pressure, so if at any moment his hands come unlocked, boom, it gets glued right to my chest. And now from here, I'm grabbing the thumb, same thing, gluing the knuckles to my chest, and I'm pulling it up across my hip for the break. For the drill, what we're gonna do is we're here, hands are unlocked, I'm putting this tension. Whenever my partner decides, so I don't know when it's gonna happen, my partner breaks his lock. So I'm putting tension, he opens up his hands, I have to glue, find the thumb, knuckles on the chest, break. I give him his lock back. He comes up, I'm here, I have good position, his hands come unlocked, grab, knuckles, break, give him his lock back, come through, his hands come unlocked, break, and give him his lock back. Now we're gonna look at a high percentage way to get from mount to S mount using our underhooks. I grab both the wrists, I pin them, and I have my hips light here. I don't have my hips on him, I'm actually just squeezing my knees. Now I get my head off to one side so I can get a strong frame behind this. If I just try to pin this from here, it's hard, but if I come here, I can now push it to the mat. From here, I fight inside, and I get a crossface. I feed here like if I was going for an Americana, but Americanas don't work, so instead, I go for an underhook. I don't want to be in a symmetrical mount. I want to go asymmetrical with my mount and put one foot behind me as base and lean a lot of my weight away from the underhook. Now, this foot that's behind me is base here. If he bridges in toward me, I can stop it. And if he bridges away from me, so much of my weight is on this near side of his body that I don't get off balance. So I'm not directly over him. I'm biasing myself off to one side. So if I didn't have this post here, he would just easily bridge me over, right? Because I'm off to that side so much. But I curl this foot forward, put my toes on the mat, so now when he bridges in that direction, I have a post opposite of it, and I can ride it out. First, I want to get his elbow to the line of his shoulder. How I do that is I like to think about stretching, moving my head up, walking, and coming back. And as he's pressuring down, I just go kind of slowly, moving, walking. I've got an asymmetrical mount. He's winging down hard on this underhook. All I got to do is get it up to the shoulder line. So I walk it like so, just until I get here. Now I can switch my mount and use the pressure of my entire back, my entire shoulders to get his underhook super high. Now I pass off, grab his neck on this side, and shrug. I can use this hand to assist to get this elbow across. Now, most people will be fighting in some sort of way here. I can look for the wrist, look for any way I can, get the second underhook. Now I repeat the process. He's winging down hard. All I have to do is get it to the line of the shoulder, and now I can switch my mount again. Now that they're both here, I square up, and I get my head high above his shoulders. If I'm too low, he can rip his elbows down and get out. So as soon as I get here, I put my chest over his elbows. Now I think about tucking my knee under his neck. It's very important that I don't let his head slip to the floor when I go to S mount. I want to make sure I put his head on top of my thigh like a pillow, right? This is a good S mount. As a bonus, if you want to really torture your partner and make it really, really horrible for him, you can actually start coming up on this foot. And from here, you're kind of creating a chest compression that's really, really horrible. This is a good time to start switching this through, coming here and falling for this side armbar. Very strong break. I'm gonna grab this hand and I might move my chest out of the way and tuck his hand into my pocket here. Now I can freely go and reach for this hand here and do that same thing where I glue it to my chest. We could throw this over and fall back for a regular break, but honestly, my preference and something I've been playing with a lot lately is going from top armbar to side armbar. So I'm gonna fall forward, I'm gonna flip this over, and I'm gonna catch this side armbar here, and I break him from this position. That way, when I fall back, he can't use that opportunity to start hitting hitchhiker escapes or sit-out escapes or pulling his elbow free. So as I'm falling, I'm looking for this thumbs-up grip. I might hit the mat, that's cool. And I go for the break here. A lot of times, they'll forward roll. Now, I just get the break here. All right? Let's give that a shot. 1, 2, 3.